Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast presented by FanDuel. It's Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Oh, for those who love it when basketball gets testy, this one's for you.
Next to him, it's my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Ayo.
Ayo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Hello to everybody on YouTube. Hello, podcast listeners. On today's show, we're going to talk Doug Christie. We're going to talk Mike Breen. We're going to talk Anthony Davis. That's all in the up-down report. But we start with our NBA playoff previews and predictions. We're going to start with round 3 of the Nuggets-Wolves. Yeah, it's the rubber match, baby. Nuggets beat Minnesota in 5 games in the first round of the 23 playoffs, but the Wolves exacted revenge in the 24 semifinals. They won that epic 7-game series. Jamal Murray really kept in check during that series. Can Minnesota do it again? This time around, though, Denver, they've won their last 12 games coming into the postseason. They have home court advantage against Minnesota that sort of limped to the finish line. Big part of that was injuries, but 9-10 over their last 19 games. If you care, Denver won 3 of the 4 meetings against Minnesota this season, including the overtime classic on Christmas Day. Jokic with the triple-double, 56 points, 16 rebounds, and 15 assists. Ant scored 44 in the loss. Hell of a game.
Good game.
Hopefully we have a hell of a series here. Let's break it down. We'll get to our predictions at the end. But what's one thing you're watching, Tass, when it comes to Nuggets-Wolves round 3?
I'm starting at the top in terms of how the Minnesota Timberwolves try and slow down Nikola Jokic, which they can't do. But a couple of years ago, when they played in the playoffs against those Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves won in 7 games, there was a Karl Anthony Towns that they were able to throw at Nikola Jokic after Rudy Gobert went to the bench. This is different, obviously, no cat. And you said those stats on Christmas. I mean, the stats are ridiculous through the 4 games that they played this year. They're bonkers. 36 points, 15 boards, 11 assists. The percentages, 65% from the floor. Just think of that. 10 shots he took, 6.5 were going in. And then you pushed him out to the three-point line. 50% of those were going in as well. 93% from the free throw line. And Kat did a good job at taking away space. The thing that Rudy does poorly against Jokic is he gives him too much space. He's one of those feel it out and able to recover and block guys. And Jokic just takes advantage of those situations. And if they try and get the ball out of his hands, Jamal Murray will kill them. Jamal Murray had his best season. I think that's clear to a lot of people, but I don't think his numbers are appreciated, especially technically. His catch and shoots are up 46% on threes off the catch, career best percentage. That's a good percentage, and off the dribble, just as good as he's ever been. So those two guys, I know it's super simple, but that's the important part. And I think the reason why they were able to beat the Nuggets a couple years ago, the Timberwolves were able to throw Cat at him. And now when Rudy Gobert goes to the bench, are you going to try and throw Naz Reid, who's been really cold recently, 28% from the All-Star break, after the All-Star break from the three-point line? It's scary. I know he's too tiny for Nikola Jokic, but how are they going to try it? They're going to try and throw Julius Randle at him? I just find it difficult to think that the Nuggets are going to fall out of this groove that they've been in, winning 12 straight games. Jokic cooking, Jamal Murray cooking. So I start at the top. I mean, that's the most important thing for me.
Yeah, Rudy's going to have to play basically every single minute that Nikola Jokic does. They'll probably be subbed at the exact same time. That's the thing that's pretty exciting about this series is that Jokic has dominated against the Timberwolves, Murray has dominated against the Timberwolves, and Anthony Edwards has dominated against the Nuggets as well. All the stars play well against each other because there's not great matchups. Like one of the best Jokic moments in his career for me is whoever's telling the story about Jokic going one-on-one with Rudy Gobert back in the Jazz days, and Rudy's like, I got him. We don't need a double. And Jokic just says to him, brother, I have 47. That's the kind of way Jokic plays against Gobert. He's going to light him up, absolutely, but it goes the other way as well. That's what I'm watching is how does Denver possibly even try and guard Anthony Edwards? This season, 30 points per game on 57% true shooting. Pretty good, pretty efficient. Last year, 31 per game on 63 true shooting. There's just no matchup for Anthony Edwards on the Denver Nuggets. Peyton Watson battling a hamstring injury. He hasn't played in a couple of weeks. That's bad news for Denver. Spencer Jones also battling a hamstring injury. Maybe he would get a chance on Anthony Edwards. That's bad news. So I'm thinking they're going to have to do some really funky stuff, getting the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands. You look back at 2024 and the 4 wins that Minnesota had against Denver, only 1.75 turnovers for Ant. That's awesome. In the 3 losses, 4 turnovers. He's been a little bit banged up. John Krasinski of The Athletic says he's as healthy as he can be right now. And they just need Ant to be at playoff level because he's been a great playoff performer throughout his career, and he's going to have an advantageous matchup. It's just a matter of how can he figure out how to be a scorer and a playmaker at the same time.
Health is important not only for Ant, but some of these other Wolves guys too. I guess Jaden McDaniels, they're convinced is sort of back to 100%. He had the bone bruise. Naz Reid, you brought up him, Tass. His shoulder injury and maybe improving here. Gobert and Randall even got some time off down the stretch. The Wolves are a funny team heading into the postseason because, like I said, they're sort of limping into the postseason, but some of it's maybe by design. They sort of fell into their seeding. Didn't have a great year. I think we can all agree with that. I think most people thought they'd easily be a 50-win team.
So, yeah, it's a funny season.
And they came up short.
Because they got the same number of wins as last season.
Yeah.
But it's a different ending.
Yeah,
for sure.
but at least like Anthony Edwards is a good example. Like he's played like 75 minutes over the last month. So yes, that was injury related, but also you get him some rest here. And this guy has proven to be a playoff riser. I mean, he's played in like over 30 playoff games. The numbers are awesome. He plays huge minutes. His usage rate goes up, and the Nuggets are going to have to try and slow him down. Like some people are saying like this one's going to be sort of a cakewalk here for the Nuggets, the way they're playing and being one of the championship contenders, but I don't think so. Like the matchups we've seen between these teams and just Ant alone, if he's at least close to 100% healthy, this is going to be another battle, I think, here. Going long is my impression.
This could definitely be the best series in the entire first round of the playoffs.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that people would look sideways at the Timberwolves is that they play to their competition. They're terrible against bad teams. They can be good against good teams.
Yeah.
Denver is a really, really good team. We've seen Ant have an awesome round 1, an awesome round 2, and the conference finals a little more hit or miss. This is more like a conference finals level matchup with the Nuggets, but like you're saying, the Nuggets are pretty banged up. All of their most athletic guys, it feels like, are the ones going down with injuries. That's certainly a concern against Anthony Edwards specifically. And I mean, you got to worry about Aaron Gordon. I think he'll come up definitely in the X factors when we're talking about that. But yeah, I mean, these are two teams that have played each other a lot. They play each other pretty well. It did feel like the Timberwolves had the recipe for beating the Nuggets, but that was back when they had 2 7-footers. That's not the case now. So yeah, it's exciting. I mean, this is pretty close to a real rivalry.
Yeah,
I think.
And I think it's by far the best first round series. I know people say, the Timberwolves are 9-10 their last 19 going into the playoffs. Well, last year they're 17-4, cooking going into the playoffs in their last 21 games. Last quarter of their season, they're absolutely the best that they had been all season. Julius Randle was absolutely cooking going into the playoffs, where people questioned Julius Randle. Is this guy good enough? And then he started cooking. So I think it's way different, this 49-win season than last year's 49-win season. So I'm sure people just cutting off the Timberwolves saying they're done. But Anthony Edwards, even though he only had 75 minutes, he's only played 3 games in a month. I mean, that's not a lot. It's one every 3 days. It's just not a lot. But you watch him against the Rockets in their last game. He looked like Anthony Edwards. He looked so good. He wasn't turning it over. That turnover number is so important going into the playoffs against the Nuggets team that isn't an incredible defensive team at the rim. We know that. We know Anthony Edwards can get what he wants. And then you go down the line. Jaden McDaniels, I think, will be totally fine. I think Julius Randle, they're all healthy enough to me. But at the same time, that other team is cooking. and that's why this is the best first round series, I think, by far. Because they have a rivalry and because Denver absolutely looking their best, I think.
Let's do X Factors. Get us started, TK. What are you going with?
I hesitate to call him an X factor, but Julius Randle is the biggest question mark for me in this entire series, and specifically for the Timberwolves. Just look at the playoffs last year. First 2 rounds, he was awesome. 24 points per game on 50% shooting. 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Then in the conference finals against OKC, he was kind of back to the bad Randle. 17 points per game on decent percentages, but 15 assists to 18 turnovers. They need him to be a secondary creator because, like I said before, I'm sure the Nuggets are going to do everything they can eventually to get the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands. Like, they'll probably play standard defense as much as they possibly can. Maybe Peyton Watson's able to go and he can move into the starting lineup eventually, but I do think they're going to have to scheme around taking Ant out of the game. And if that's the case, Randle will be able to attack. He'll have chances to create for himself, create for others. Like Tass said, the Nuggets aren't a great interior defensive team, and that's somewhere that Randall can thrive. So they need him to be as good as he was the first couple of rounds of the playoffs last year, because that was a huge question mark coming over from New York. He's had some bad playoff series, and last year he kind of changed the story around him, and this year they need the exact same thing.
Yeah, I'll go the other side. I'll go Tim Hardaway. I think is an interesting guy for the Denver Nuggets in that he had his best season. He averaged a ton against the Wolves this year, nearly 20 points per game against one team. It's shooting 61% from the floor and 55% from three. I mean, those aren't just fluke numbers. They're just good numbers. And our friend John Krasinski broke it down like literally game by game. Tim Hardaway was able to turn games against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game one against them, in that third quarter that they played, he hit 5 threes, 5 for 5 from three. In the second game, that third quarter, again, just like in that first game where he went 5 for 5 from three, he had 13 points. Both in Minnesota. I think that's super important. There's something about that Minnesota water that Tim Hardaway plays really well at. He went so deep. John Krasinski went so deep. I didn't realize this, that when he was playing with Michigan, they had NCAA tournament games in Minnesota. And he was awesome. I don't know how he played well in the barn, as it was called, but he was super, super good. The Gophers just bring something out in Tim Hardaway. So on that side, that's who I'm looking at. I mean, there's another one obviously on the Wolves side. I don't know if you're picking that side. Yeah,
I got a few names. I mean, I was just another one on the Nuggets. Christian Brown is always sort of an X factor. I always go back to this game recently against the Spurs where it was like, just leave him open, see if he'll shoot threes. That game he did. He took a ton. He took 11 three-point attempts. He hit 5 of them. You're going to live with that. But so many other games where he's 0 for 3, 0 for 4, and teams are going to dare him to shoot. I mean, you got to try. You're trying to take away Jokic. You're trying to slow Jamal Murray. That's going to leave somebody open. And Christian Brown is out there for defensive purposes, and he's a good player, and he's a winner. But he's going to have to knock these down with some consistency if he's left alone. But back to the Wolves, the big difference between this rivalry of these previous seasons, they didn't have these two guys in the Twin Turbos. And they could be an X factor in Ayo Dosunmu and sort of Bones Highland here. These guys, they give them another like jolt, a boost off the bench there. Especially Ayo, who's been great since joining Minnesota. 14 points per game, shooting 41% from deep. He just gets that ability to get out in transition and, again, sort of give a little punch to the offense when they maybe get Ant to rest or go away from him a little bit. But also I'd include Bones in there too, because they sort of both play that way, that energetic way, especially at home. That can like ignite a crowd and stuff like that. You can rip off the 8-0 run and suddenly you're back in a game or blow open a game. So I look at them as the Wolves X factors.
Yeah, I like Ayo as an X factor and Bones as maybe a Z factor. Like Ayo has to play well every game of the series for the most part. I think he will be the guy that can really attack downhill. If the Wolves are getting doubled and somebody needs to make a play, that's where he thrives. Bones is more like, if he gives you a 25-point game, you better win that game. You're not expecting it 7 times, but if it happens once, that's got to be a game that the Timberwolves win, because I do think that the Minnesota bench can be better than the Denver bench. I think the Denver starters are probably better, but the game can flip in that little bit there.
Who has the most pressure on them in this series to you? Either team. Hell, coaches included if you want. Go to the front office if you dare. Like, who has the most pressure in this first round matchup between these two teams?
From the Nuggets side, I think there's just going to be pressure on Aaron Gordon to body Anthony Edwards as much as possible. I know pressure is probably not the right adjective, the descriptor for this one, but he's just got a lot on his shoulders because Trey mentioned Peyton Watson may not play. I mean, he is probably their best perimeter defender, alongside Aaron Gordon. I mean, more consistent than Aaron Gordon. So they're just going to have to throw bodies at Anthony Edwards, and Aaron Gordon's hamstrings are going to be challenged. That guy was injured last year's playoffs and throughout this year. So I think he's going to have a lot of Anthony Edwards' responsibility from that side. From the Minnesota side, we just talked about X factors. The guy that Anthony Edwards always calls Minnesota's X factor, and Jaden McDaniels, I think has a lot of pressure on him. He's got to produce. We know there are games where he doesn't produce offensively, and that's where it'll probably fall on Ayo Dosunmu to produce, to be that guy who gets downhill and does a lot of that. But if Jaden McDaniels can be consistent, as Anthony Edwards always says, if we're going to win a championship, that guy has to be great. I mean, really, he could
He's
swing
like
the
their Aaron
series.
Gordon.
Yeah.
He becomes,
totally.
right?
Third man is important for both teams. Aaron Gordon, 39% from three this year, most makes per game of his career. But I was like, I don't know if I buy this. He went 10 for 11 in game one, literally the first game. And if you take that out, he shot 35% from three this season. Still better than he ever was, you know, like he's become reliable, but, you know, there's a difference between 40% from three and 35% from three, and that's one game for Aaron Gordon, kind of put him over the top because he didn't play a whole bunch this year. Most pressure for me, though, has got to be Chris Finch. I don't know how things will go for him if Minnesota loses in round one, especially if they lose in a sad fashion. I'm not necessarily thinking that's going to happen, but if it's a 5-game series after a regular season where it seemed like they had motivation problems, where they didn't take a step forward, they didn't take a step back, but it felt worse. If they don't make it back to the conference finals, like literally anything but the conference finals is falling short of expectations for Minnesota. And I think that they would rather go further, right? Like it's more likely that Minnesota comes up short this season than going further. And that makes you just question who the front office is going to want to be coaching, just because things change.
Yep, that's a good pick. All right, let's get to predictions here then. Where are you going? Is this a short series, long series? Is there an upset brewing?
Yeah, it's difficult to say it's a short series against the Timberwolves, but I'm doing it. I think the Nuggets win in 5.
Okay.
They are just absolutely smoking right now. I think the Timberwolves, not ending the season well is part of that. Also, they were able to beat the really crappy teams this season pretty badly. The teams that aren't trying, the tankers, they're plus 13 points in margin of victory against those teams. They're 20-6 against them. And it just doesn't bode well against the Nuggets team. I think is cooking. They're just hot. And I could see Tim Hardaway in game 3 or game 4 in Minnesota stealing one and going back to Denver, and they close it out. I'm taking them. I think they're, this, you mentioned the Chris Finch offseason and how that goes. I think that is going to be a big swing for his future with Minnesota.
Okay, Nuggets in 5 from Tass. What about you, TK?
First of all, do you guys consider this a rivalry?
That's a good question.
Third time in 4 years they're playing, so that, yes.
Yeah, I did.
Doesn't feel like they hate each other, though.
No. And like they're meeting.
Best players don't play against each other at all. Like Murray and Ant aren't going to guard each other.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jokic and Ant aren't going to guard each other.
Yeah, and like they met in the first round and the second round, like no even conference finals matchups. It's on the precipice. I'll say
on the
that.
precipice.
Yeah.
And the way they ended it, the Timberwolves ended it in that second time they played. It was the 7th game in Denver. Denver was up 20.
Yeah, I mean that was crazy.
So
that was a crazy
just
loss.
makes it a rivalry. I just think that Denver knows that coming into this series. So feels rivalry-ish.
It feels rivalry-ish. we need a little bad blood, though.
Yeah.
We need Jonas Valanciunas to throw somebody to the ground. Probably Kyle Anderson. I could see those guys getting in a fight with each other.
Yeah.
Kyle Anderson, of course, fought his teammate once on the sidelines for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but he's back now.
That's a good one.
I forgot about that. Huh?
I
Rudy Gobert?
I did
And then
forget
Jaden
about
McDaniels broke his hand same game. Weird.
That was a weird
stuff.
one.
Weird stuff from the Timberwolves back in the day. I think this goes a little longer than Tass, but I'm still on the Nuggets here. I'll take Nuggets in 6.
I'm with you. Nuggets in 6. I am excited to see once again Anthony in the playoffs. I mean, I love it here. Is Kevin Garnett going to be in attendance? They're going to bring him right back after he made his appearance there for the first time in 8 years, and everybody was going nuts. Get him sidelined. But I like Denver in 6. So just like to go back to Jokic, like what are they going to do here? Like how are they going to stop him? In his first game, 25, 19, and 10 against the Wolves. Second game, 27, 12, and 11. Then he had the Christmas Day 56, 16, and 15. And then the fourth game, not bad too, 35, 13, and 9. Shooting splits, just bonkers of the 65, 50, 93 at the free throw line. It sound like fake numbers. So good luck stopping him. But I do go back to the, Jaden McDaniels gave Jamal Murray fits when they did win the 7-game series. In wins, they shut him down. Jamal Murray's playing at a higher level here, obviously healthier than he was. So good luck with that. But
no Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah, who played a part.
Yeah,
but McDaniel's got a lot of the credit, deservedly so. So like that's a big matchup. But I think Jamal, with the way he's playing with Jokic right now, is just unstoppable. So I'll go Nuggets in 6.
Yeah.
But entertaining. I think close games here down the stretch.
Yeah, we might get some fights. Kyle Anderson may fight someone other than Rudy Gobert, I guess. I think that is why they brought back Kyle Anderson in the middle of this season. and Mike Conley is to try and get this thing
Mike
together.
Conley
right?
ain't getting in a fight.
He's
I'll
not
tell you
fighting.
that.
They didn't bring him back to fight, more so to bring this locker room together because they're glue guys. That's what they are. They're just rah guys.
Yeah.
We'll see if they can do that and hopefully push somebody. Ideally, little fights.
We had the poll going. I saw here in the stream team on YouTube. Do we have the results?
Yeah, it's a big landslide victory here for the Denver Nuggets. 85% going with the Nugs.
Okay. That was just a straight up pick who's winning. Yeah,
We only
okay,
get
that's
4
fine.
options.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
get
give
ya.
you the full 8.
You don't want to do the classic
Potential
Nuggets
results.
in 4 or 5,
Yeah.
Nuggets in 6 or 7. Wolves
Okay,
in 4 or
my
5.
guess is that we would, if I would have split it up like that, I think it would be 40% saying Nuggets in 6 or 7.
Yeah, I maybe even go higher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I had to go higher. So you'd think 60% in 4 or 5? That's high.
No, I'm saying
He's saying
60%
some people would pick
spread
Minnesota.
between the other.
Yeah.
Because we know
my bad.
15% is on the Timberwolves
Yeah,
already.
yeah. that's
Oh,
right.
okay. My
Leaving
bad.
85%.
My bad math there.
Yeah.
It's one of those things with Timberwolves fans. They say, hey, we won the same amount of games last year and we got to the conference finals. But I think it's so different going up against the Nuggets versus the Los Angeles Lakers that you had in the first round last year that you're super athletic. And then Steph went down in the second round. Very, very different. So 15% believe the Wolves. Fine. I'm like, I accept. I accept.
He's accepting that. All right,
acceptable.
we got Nuggets in 6 here, and then Task Nuggets in 5. Let's hear from you guys down in the comments. Let's talk about the Lakers and the Rockets 4-5 matchup in the Western Conference. Lakers won 2 of the 3 regular season meetings, but Luka was pretty good in those matchups. He totaled 76 points in their 2 March wins in Houston. Doesn't sound like Luka Doncic is playing to start this series, though he's returning to Los Angeles this Friday after spending the last week in Spain, where they are, just putting multiple injections into his left hamstring by the sounds of it. Who knows what they're doing over there? But so he's going to be with the team, should be on the bench. I don't think he's starting. I'm sure you guys agree with me that he's starting game 1 here in this series.
Unlikely.
If it goes long, could we see him near the end of it? Maybe. Austin Reeves sounds a little bit more even banged up and less likely, I think, to return even in this series. So they're down guys here. Huge part of it, Tass. But what are you watching for in Lakers Rockets?
Well, for the Lakers to have any chance here, I think we're going to see some throwing out of lineups by J.J. Redick to just have his defense scrambling, rotate, and creating some turnovers because they're not going to out-talent the Rockets. We all know that. And so how are you going to guard Durant to start? I bring up all the bodies getting thrown at him because you're going to have Rui, most likely, getting the primary responsibility, but you'll probably get some Jared Vanderbilt, who played for J.J. Redick's team last year in the playoffs, 60 minutes, so you'll see some of that. You'll see 82-game Jake LaRavia out there as well. I think they may go small. A little bit, even though this Rockets team is huge, I think you're just going to see these weird lineups that JJ Redick is throwing out there. I think that is super important to try and get some extra possessions because the Rockets play super slow. We know that they're the 29th slowest team in the NBA, the 29th longest to shoot the ball, as our man John Schumann pointed out, of the 10 NBA players who have taken the most shots in the final 4 seconds of a shot clock. The Rockets have 3 of them. They're super slow. If the Lakers can somehow get extra possessions and take this to the 47th or 48th minute of a game where it's still close, that's when maybe they can win these games. I think we're just going to be watching a lot of JJ and see if he can somehow get some turnovers and just really throw things up, Throw the wrench in there.
JJ should play?
Yeah.
Sit him in?
the floor?
He'd
Yeah.
love to. He would love to.
Yeah, he's like, watch this, Luke. Do you know all the guys that played 82 games now? You brought it up yesterday that there was 18 guys and you just dropped 82-game Jig like this is his nickname.
It was news to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Mostly. I couldn't tell you many of them, but I know 82-game Jake will be playing some small ball 5, I guess. I mean, it would be weird.
He's going to play a lot.
a lot,
He's
yeah.
going to play a lot.
God,
Marcus
yeah.
Smart is going to be important. Like, I think he'll probably guard KD and try to frustrate him a little bit, get up underneath him, get up into his nips, that kind of stuff. It would be awesome to see LeBron and KD guard each other in this series, but I don't think it's going to happen basically at all. There's no way LeBron guards KD.
Nah.
For the majority of the series. I mean, maybe he
Maybe
will a
gets
couple of
matched up,
possessions
yeah.
at the end of games or something like that. More likely, I think LeBron will hide on Amen Thompson.
Yeah.
Amen Thompson will probably guard LeBron on the other side, and that's a little exciting to me.
Yeah.
Can LeBron do it, man? Can he throw it back? This guy's the reigning Western Conference Player of the Week.
Saw that.
He had a great 4 or 5 games there.
You know all the guys that played 82 games. This guy knows Player of the Weeks.
That's right.
I
That's
did
right.
not
That's right.
see that.
April
No
LeBron.
idea.
Oh man, almost 25 a game, Tass. That's a low number.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
low number for him.
But it is
But nobody was playing in the last couple games.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they destroyed Phoenix, right? So he just chilled for the second half. Either way, whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but it's gonna be fun to see if LeBron can just totally backpack the Lakers. Because I'm
Yeah.
with you. It feels like at least Luka is gonna miss the first couple of games here.
Yeah.
Which means LeBron would have to go Jalen Brunson mode when Brunson took over for the Mavericks
Yeah.
when Luka was out against the Jazz back in the day. Reeves maybe comes back. I think he's going to be out for the entirety of the first round. Oblique injuries take forever to come back from. And he can't go to Arkansas and get a whole bunch of injections. They don't have that kind of stuff.
They don't have that medicine.
They don't have the same steroids that they have in Spain, apparently. But yeah, seeing LeBron as the number one option when we just spent a month and a half talking about this guy did such a great job of buying into the number 3 role. Guess what? He's back, baby. Number 1 guy, just like Jax Taylor. It's interesting to think, what kind of style is he going to play? Like, is he going to go even slower than the Rockets?
That's what I was thinking. Because you said you've seen this before where LeBron has led a team that's completely outclassed because of talent, because of injuries, and he has just slowed the game to a goddamn crawl.
Yes.
But you're playing the Rockets who are like, oh, we love that type of play. Yeah, so that's where it's a little fascinating. You're not playing this run and gun team where maybe it gets them in a funk and they don't want to play that way and it really bogs it down. But that's not the case in this matchup. And to their depth, that's the thing to watch for here. It's like, you said Luke Kennard is in the starting lineup. Rui Hachimura is in the starting lineup, along with LeBron, Ayton, and Marcus Smart. That's a crazy starting 5 for a number 3 seed in the Western Conference. It really is. And then that means all these other guys, the Jake LaRavias and everybody else coming off the bench, that they're put into a bigger role because you're taking away over 60 points basically from Luka and Reeves being gone. That's a tough ask.
Yeah, we are going to see some weird stuff from JJ Redick just throwing bodies out there. Like Marcus Smart is going to hit somebody. He's going to hit Kevin Durant. We all mentioned the injuries of Luka and Austin Reeves. What about Luke Kennard's finger?
What about it?
It's hurt. He's wearing a splint on his index finger of his shooting hand. Nobody cares. He played through it. Yeah, it's not good.
No.
And the whole Luka thing, it's so funny that it's a story because he's in the United States.
Yes,
That's why it's a story. That's why it's
God
a story.
through customs,
He's
Tass.
playing basketball. Yeah, I shouldn't say he's playing basketball. Yeah, his body got through customs. And he can maybe play again. It's so weird, man.
Yeah.
That's a story enough.
But it's going to be a story hanging over the entire series of like Kenny, Willie, Izzy.
But it is
returning.
a hamstring injury. It's just highly unlikely.
Well, does it depend on how the series starts? Like if they lose the first 2 games at home, I don't think we're seeing Luka. I don't think they're going to try and salvage the series and come back.
But if they sneak one,
yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Or obviously advance, and then it's a different equation. But, I'm watching forward to talk about the Rockets a little bit here. Turnovers with them is always a story. When they take care of the ball, they're pretty good. And more recently, the off-ball movement's been a little more sharper down the stretch here. They look really good when they do that. So, teams are forced to try and slow KD, try and slow Şengün. They throw multiple guys at him. So things open up. They get a nice little flow going. They can pound the glass, we know that, but they just have to take care of the ball because we go back to that game that they played about a month ago. The Lakers forced 9 fourth quarter turnovers against the Rockets as they just fell apart in the clutch. And you said that, Tess. Like, can these games get close in the final 5 minutes? If they are, then maybe the Lakers can pull out a couple victories here despite 2 of their best guys not playing. But the Lakers' turnovers have declined.
Yeah, so who are you betting on in the last few minutes? That's the key. If they're close.
It's
LeBron or it's Durant. That's who you're betting on. And like you said, late in the fourth quarter in that game, the Rockets struggled, obviously, and they couldn't close out. Obviously, as the next game, they got better. And so, maybe that bodes well for the Rockets that they've had some history, some experience of dealing with that defense that Redick is going to throw out there.
X factors in this, Lakers or Rockets? What are you looking at?
Rui Hachimura just became very important at work. He's going to have to guard KD a lot. I think he will be the number one defensive option for JJ. I think he kind of has to be the second scorer for the Lakers as well with the injuries that they're dealing with. It'll be by committee. 82-game Jake will be involved. Hurt finger Luke will be involved as well. But Rui is the most reliable offensive option that the Lakers have left outside of LeBron. I gotta think he's got to hit the glass as well. Like, I think that's a area that Rui can contribute at. He's got size. He's got athleticism. We know the Rockets like to offensive rebound. You're talking about the possession game, Skeets. It's very important that the Lakers control the defensive glass. We know Ayton can be a good rebounder. Yeah. He almost had a big beef in a finals game, came up one rebound short. I forget who stole it from him. Somebody did on the Suns there. He got really upset. But they need to rebound, the Lakers too. Part of that is Rui. He's got a lot to do in this series with Luka going down, with Reeves going down, getting elevated back into the starting lineup. He's got to perform.
Yeah, it feels like the Lakers just are full of X factors. Rui definitely is one, but it keeps trickling down because of the lack of depth. So I'll say DeAndre Ayton. I mean, he could easily be their second best player. I know Rui's probably their second best creator now, but you're going to rely on DeAndre Ayton a lot. And he hasn't played in the playoffs in a while. Since he was with the Phoenix Suns, it's been 3 years. It was 2023. He played the Clippers and Zubats in the first round. Did pretty well. And then the second round played Jokic, got burned. They pulled Jock Landale off the bench to help out. That was a good Jock series. He was all right against Jokic. But the question is, can JJ Redick get him to keep on playing like he has been the last couple weeks? He has been really good in that role. Playoffs could be different. You might have Udonis Haslem on the Amazon broadcast talking him up again. Hey, JJ, can you get Udonis Haslem on the mic and talk up DeAndre Ayton like you did last week, saying you're so good in that role, man. You're doing so good in that role. You're excelling. It was hilarious hearing that. But that's what essentially JJ Redick's going to be doing, getting the most of DeAndre Ayton and Rui to see if they can help.
Yeah, they're the underdogs in this series because of the injuries. So they have the playing with house money a little bit because nobody's expecting them to go all that far, led by a 41-year-old LeBron and then this like ragtag bunch with no Luka and Reeves. A couple X factors on the Rockets. I think Reed Shepherd is interesting. I saw Schumann had the numbers. Rockets were outscored by 29 points in Shepherd's about 80 minutes on the floor against the Lakers this season. He struggled from 3 in those 3 games, just 5 of 18. But we know he needs to play. And we saw down the stretch when he was inserted in the starting lineup and when he was shooting and playing, the Rockets just look so much better. They're spacing for Şengün. They're spacing for Kevin Durant to work in the mid-range area. So Reed Shepherd, I got my eye on. And Tari Eason wants to do the dirty work, Steely Dan style. He's active, man. He's active on the offensive glass. He can create turnovers. They can get some easy points, which they could always use. So I think he's going to be all out there too, running around and getting some on and getting against maybe LeBron at times. So Tari Eason, I got as another X factor.
If he's clicking, the Rockets are kicking ass.
Yeah,
I mean, he is a
good bellwether. Yeah, when he's having a good game,
he's cutting, beating the secondary defense. Like, he's the secondary playmaker. It's just cutting it and slashing, and then turnovers and offensive rebound. He's the guy.
Yeah. He was cold though second half of the season, and that was a big problem for the Rockets on the offensive end, because even if he isn't shooting the ball well, he's still doing whatever he wants to out there. He's a very feast or famine kind of player. So I kind of think all the guards are super important for the Rockets. Reed, like you're saying, has to make threes, has to not get picked on the entire time, which kind of favorable matchup for him with Luka and Reeves going out. Amen Thompson has to be a threat on the offensive end, and neither of them can turn over the ball. Like, that's the easiest way for the Lakers to score.
Let's get to predictions here. Lakers Rockets. You go first, TK.
Well, this is a gift for Houston. I think, were probably a lot of people would have picked them to be a first round playoff loss if they're going into this series against a full strength Lakers team and against any of the top 4 in the Western Conference. Instead, they have a clear talent advantage over Los Angeles right now. It's just impossible to know how much Luka specifically is going to play. I will go Rockets in 6 games.
I'm saying Rockets in 5. I just think their athleticism, their length, it's going to show out in this series against the Lakers. They're going to be ready from the get-go. That little experience recently dealing with the Lakers defense in the fourth quarter, I think that plays a factor. So I think you'll get some good minutes from all their long athletic guys. We didn't even mention Alperen Şengün doing really well against this team. I think he's going to be awesome. So yeah, I'll take the Rockets in 5.
This is from Schumann here. Statistically, Houston has been the much better team this year, outscoring opponents by 5.4 points per 100 possessions. That's the league's 6th best mark. It's 3 times better than the Lakers differential. And Shu notes that's a similar situation to last year when the Lakers were the number 3 seed versus the 6-seeded Wolves, who the Lakers lost to. The Wolves had a better regular season point differential compared to the Lakers of last year. So maybe that holds here as well. This in a 4-5 match instead of the 3-6. I'm going Rockets in 6, but this comment made me laugh from The Athletic. Somebody down in the comment section that I saw. Quote, Marcus Smart front rimming threes early in the shot clock. Ayton missing defensive assignments. LeBron being asked to play 38 minutes per game. The one team that could lose to that squad, it's Houston. I'm calling it now. Ime Udoka is going to get fired. And it made me laugh because I was like, oh, God, there might be a lot of truth in that.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like, you went Rockets in 5. You know, they should be the favorites here with no Luka or Reeves. But I'm like, well, this is going to go longer. It's going to get a little more uncomfortable than it probably should, I think. I go Rockets in 6 ultimately, but it's not going to be convincing.
No. This broke pretty perfectly for the Rockets for them to even be getting picked here. Yeah. If you knew that Luka came back in Game 3, what would your pick be?
No
Reeves.
No Reeves. Okay.
No Reeves
not
period.
coming back.
Reeves out all 7 games.
We know Luka's
Luka
back
3 through 7.
in Houston. He's returning. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I would go Lakers in 7.
I would not. I'd go Rockets in 7.
Okay. I'd flip the Lakers as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Houston is pretty bad.
Do you think we see him at all? I mean, I know we're completely
He'll be there. He's back in the States.
There.
Do you think he's playing at all in this series? What do you think?
I bet he plays Game 5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Limpy Luka Game 5. 40 points on one leg in a loss.
Wow.
Still looks good.
40 spot.
Do you think like Jose Calderon's hams will come up or something like that? That's what they were feeding him when he
hamstrings.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Hamstrings from Spain. He's got a farm there.
Yeah.
Which breeds those hams. I do think he will come back.
Wow.
I can't help but buy these reports that he's coming to play. But I don't see a 40 spot.
Juiced his leg
I don't
up,
see him
man.
that good. I mean, when he was holding that thing, it felt like he knew it was going to be a while. So, man, I mean, I don't know.
I don't think we see him. I
haven't checked the schedule. Maybe there's a lot of days off in between.
Oh,
games.
they take a long time, these things. They take
That's
2
a great
weeks.
point. Yeah, it is a long time.
If it goes 6 or 7, it takes 2 weeks.
Yep.
All right, let's hear your predictions. Do we have a poll on that one? What are the people saying?
We have a poll on that one. 70% of people think it's the Rockets.
Okay. Yep.
The Rockets.
70 to 30.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Excited. Can't wait for actual postseason basketball here. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the up-down report.
Let me ask you guys a personal question. Are you more inclined to make a bet on an NBA game if, when you look at it, the logos for each team are just a jersey with 3 letters on it, rather than the actual team logo? Like let's say you're Miami Charlotte tonight.
Yeah.
It says just MIA on a jersey. Look, it's not their actual logo.
Yeah.
Are you more inclined to do that? Because on FanDuel predicts the app, because they don't have actual rights to have the actual logos on there. Yeah, it's tonight, MIA versus CHM. I'm like, oh, wow, this is like a game. Tick, tick.
You're more likely.
Yeah, I'm more likely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know where you were going there. Yeah.
Well, I'm just giving
totally
you my
agree with you now.
Thank you. Although you're not betting on FanDuel predicts. You're not betting, but you're kind of betting, but you're not betting. Either way, do what you got to do. Right now, new FanDuel customers on their actual FanDuel app can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets just for getting started. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up. You got so many tools with FanDuel. Check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. Everything you need all in one app. Unless you need logos. Oh, that's a different app. That's the FanDuel Predicts app. There's 2 apps. FanDuel. They got the rights. FanDuel Predicts, not so much. So don't miss your shot. Head to fanduel.com/podcast to get started.
All right, if you're just joining us, hit the like button, subscribe. Podcast listeners, help your boys out as we get ready for the second season of the NBA year by giving us a 5-star rating and review. We really appreciate it.
I got a trivia question for you, Tass. Who's the only team that had 2 players play 82 games this season?
I wasn't ready for this. I actually don't know.
Wow. Was there 18 guys total?
18 guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
18 guys.
And
right.
one team had 2 of them.
Oh,
Desmond, is it the Magic?
No, he did. He was.
I thought
82
maybe
game
like a
Desmond.
Silva
Yeah.
or something played with Bane. or
Yeah,
something.
sure.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we obviously got a Bridges. We got 82 games.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. Your body was close to one of these men this very season.
My body? Whose body? Our
Your
body?
your body, that man's body, my body.
Kelvin
Eshel's
Johnson?
Body. Kelvin Johnson is
Oh,
one.
wow. Okay.
And Julian Champagny is the other. It's the San Antonio Spurs.
Very good. Very good.
82 game Julian, they call him.
People were so mad when we didn't give last week. We picked the awards.
Yeah.
And Keldon Johnson has the best odds of winning the 6-man award.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
were so. I mean, it was Spurs fans, I assume, but we were basically saying Jaime Jaquez. I mean, it's a better story. I guess those were my words.
Yeah.
That Jaime Jaquez was a better story. Not enough love for Keldon Johnson, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's probably will win this. I mean,
Interesting.
he might. Good for him.
Good for him.
I was just
Really
there's
good
a
for him.
big article on his farm that he's got and his llamas and all his other animals.
I'm glad he got him.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't win the cup.
Yeah, right.
It's like, it turns out I did the math and I could still afford the llamas and the feet.
Yeah. And the attire he had. It didn't look like a farmer in those photos I saw with Jared Weiss,
You don't
who wrote it.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Jared Weiss looked more like I'm a farmer. Wow. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, Keldon Johnson looked more like to me
he had
like
a cowboy hat on.
yeah, but he looked a little too pristine, not
little
not
too
enough like a
clean.
hardworking
Yeah, a little too clean.
farmer.
Wow.
Anyways,
Fake
picture
farmer.
of it.
Calling him out.
yeah.
Let's get into the up-down report.
Prepare your tubis. It's the Uptown Report.
The up-down report. I got a few questions for you guys. Thumbs up or thumbs down when it comes to these 3 topics. First one, despite a 22-60 record that has them at the bottom of the West standings, the Sacramento Kings are reportedly retaining coach Doug Christie for next season. The decision seems to center on the poor roster that Christie inherited, and along with injuries that he endured. There were a lot of injuries to the Sacramento Kings, and they're saying, okay, Doug Christie had a rough go of it. Let's give him another chance. Are you up or down on the Kings running back with Doug Christie next season?
I'm both up and down on this. I think it's all dependent. It's all dependent on that roster and if they move on from some of their starters that they had at the beginning of the season, because all those guys are signed through next year. Levine, Sabonis, it keeps going. DeRozan, DeAndre Hunter, who they got.
Malik Monk.
Yeah, I don't disrespect Malik Monk, who's coming off the bench. I think it was a little different. And those 4 guys there I mentioned off the top, I mean, if you're bringing them all back, Doug Christie's going to do the same job. Right? He did a way better job in the second half of the season. There's no doubt. There was more ball movement, more player movement with the young guys, with Nee Clifford out there, Maxime Reynaud playing way more minutes, even some Devin Carter good minutes out there. I think it makes sense to bring this guy back who has a contract through next season. I don't belittle the front office for making this decision because I think he had them working extremely hard. But if you're going to just insert all these same ingredients into the recipe and say, hey, do it again, but better somehow, it doesn't really make sense. They have to move on from some of these guys. And those are going to have to be through trades where they're probably attaching a pick potentially.
Taking a bath on them. Yeah.
Yes, with some of these guys. So yes and no. I mean, again, they played hard for Doug Christie the second half of the season, but not those guys I mentioned. Not the old guys I mentioned, the young guys I mentioned.
Yeah, I think DeRozan is like non-guaranteed, so they can cut him.
Part of it,
Levine is like, I don't even know if I want to be around anymore. I might decline my option and just go into free agency.
It's like he's like a $40 million player option.
He's got a
39?
chunky guy.
Yeah.
No, 48.
How would he
48?
decline that?
Oh my
How would he decline
Yeah, that would be silly, man.
Well, I mean, the Bulls have cap space if he wants to come back. They would do it. But I'm telling you, if Doug's back, I'm locking in the Kings over again.
Oh, boy.
Just get ready. I thought he deserved a shot after the 24-25 season. He went 27-24 after after they fired Mike Brown. Kind of got one, but like you're saying, the starters never played a minute together this season.
Really?
It's actually unbelievable.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve another shot. This is a management decision.
Yeah.
They gave him a 3-year deal before the beginning of this year, and it just seems to me like they probably don't want to have to pay 2 coaches.
Maybe, yeah.
It is weird. Coaching turnover has been pretty frequent since Vivek Ranadive has taken over and purchased the Kings in 2013. Christie is the 7th permanent coach the Kings have had since then. If he finishes next season, Doug Christie, as head coach, if he goes all season long, 82-game Doug, as we'll be calling him, he will have been the second longest tenured Kings coach in the Vivek era behind Dave Yeager if he goes next season.
Wow.
That's crazy.
82-game Doug, that's a good nickname for him.
Yeah.
Because as a player, this guy would play 82
Yeah, that's
games.
true.
This guy would work his ass off.
that's true.
And that's why I don't think this is a terrible decision, because he somehow connects with guys to work hard. As far as the young guys go, again, there's player movement, there's ball movement. It was a different team.
The counter is, could have anybody had done that? Could you have done that? Slid into that role and say, yeah, we're not playing all the old guys. Well, first off, they're injured. Doug would probably have played them if they weren't. But then, yeah, play Renault, play Cardwell, play Carter, play Clifford. Like let them go. Now look, you get into Mickey Mouse March. They did win games. So they won like 10 games. You could also turn around and go, they were winning games they probably should not have been winning and all that because they hurt their chances in the draft lottery. We'll see. Maybe they'll be blessed by the ping pong lottery gods because of that. But I don't know. I guess what I'm getting at, is he really a good coach? He literally got investigated by the NBA because they're like, is he tanking? Why is he fouling?
No, just bad strategy.
he's just actually pretty
That's
bad
awesome.
at it.
He messed
I
up.
don't
He
know,
messed
man.
that one up. Yeah. And yeah, well, I just wanted to say Keegan Murray didn't play too. That's the reason
that
why.
was right away, right?
Yeah, a reason why they didn't have all their starters play. I hear what you're saying, but this Kings team allows themselves the easy ability to decide you're out of here like 30 games into the next season and say, hey, we're trading everybody. Who wants Sabonis? That I think I say Sabonis first and foremost because that's a guy that everybody wants.
Nobody wants
Nobody
him.
wants him.
He was available at this deadline.
Well,
Yeah.
the Raptors tried to get him, but they were like, you're taking back Pirtle. And the Kings wisely said, no, we're not.
Yeah.
That's what the reports say.
I will say more wanted than Levine. Let's rank them. The guys that would be wanted by other teams. I mean, we're basically talking Levine, DeRozan, Sabonis.
The big three.
The big three. That's
I think DeRozan, number one. Just because, like, if he says, yeah, I'll be a bench scorer,
Right.
that's fine.
Sure, there's a role for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and much more affordable.
yeah. Sabonis' body doesn't look all that good. That's the worrisome part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Doug's going to get another go.
What do you think the over-under for the Kings is going to be next year?
Oh, good question.
It was high this year.
Yeah.
It was high, and I still
What
locked
was it, 35 wins this
It
year?
was at 30, 34 and a
30,
half.
yeah,
They
okay.
went 22 and 60.
Yeah, they had 12 wins at the All-Star break. They were the worst team at the All-Star
Yeah,
break and then
yeah.
actually won some games in the second half. What will it be next year? It's going to be low, man. I think it's going to be 29 and a half.
Oh.
Like,
I,
You think even
I'll
lower?
under that. Yeah, I mean, I have is 24 and a half.
that would be
Yeah,
a
sure.
guess. I guess it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
You're taking the over?
I'll go.
Yeah, we're taking the over.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, that's
Let's
honestly
go,
good right now.
Kings. We're back, baby. We believe in you, Doug. Look, I mean,
82-game dub.
It's also just fun to call Coach Doug.
yeah, it is. It is. May 10th is huge, though, for the Sacramento Kings. I mean, that is the draft lottery. They are going to find out where they are in the top 8 selection. Are they going to be at the back end of it, or can they actually get some luck here and get one of these very high picks? Let's say even top 4, even they'd be laughing. Top 3, of course. So we'll see.
I just
Come
did
May
one
10th.
spin on Tankathon, number 2 for the Kings.
Oh, geez, they'd take that, baby.
Hell yeah, get Marvin Bagley.
Right. That's true. It
Let's
always
go.
works out for them.
Yeah, and the higher they finish, the more they can trade their picks along with their guys to get rid of them, right? Aside from that high pick. Because I'm going right now to see
Hold on.
what their other picks are
other
to
picks, yeah.
attach. Yeah, not the top pick.
No.
No. What are you,
No.
crazy? But, you know, another pick with some restrictions. And that's why the draft lottery is great.
So good.
Because their front office shows up and says, hey, well, you want DeAndre Hunter? We'll give him and a pick.
You think they're going to send Doug Christie to the draft lottery? Will he be sitting in the big chair there?
Ooh, Doug.
Doug
With his smelling salts right before they unveil. That'd be good.
Let's do it.
Next one, as part of the NBA's new media deals, local broadcasters are completely shut out of postseason games. I'm not sure how many people realize this. In the past, the first round of the playoffs always aired nationally, yes, but also locally. Not now. Mike Breen, not happy about this change. On the broadcast on Sunday when he's calling the Knicks game, he said, quote, I'll tell you a small part he said, I personally think it's a poor decision. Is what Breen said. Fans want to hear their team's announcers, at least in the first round, because for so many of us and all of my favorite teams growing up, the home team announcers, they became part of the family. He added, I just think the fans deserve to be thrown a bone once in a while. So Mike Breen expressing his displeasure here in the NBA playoffs TV change. Up or down on this, TK?
I'm up. I think he's right. And I think it's pretty cool that it's Mike Breen, the guy who's saying it. He's like, hey, literally, you're going to hear me again. I'm basically talking about Clyde Frazier. We got a great Knicks team here, and he's not going to be talking about him at all. Getting towards the end of his career, you would have to imagine as well. Clyde's like 80 years old, almost, right? Like
he's 80.
Is he? Wow, okay. So he's an old fella. But yeah, I mean, it's good for fans to be able to have the option. Like, I watch the national games, but if you're a Knicks fan living in New York, why would you not want to hear Mike Breen and Clyde Frazier on the call? It's good for the announcers. They're a part of the team. They travel with these guys. They're with them the entire season. And it's just part of the bonding and like the experience of being a fan. So yeah, this is kind of disappointing and not something I'd really considered either until Mike Breen of all people comes out and says it.
Yeah, and I that's the case for every single organization out there. It stinks. Yeah, it is sort of conventional tradition for the broadcasters just to be able to carry it through the first round. It is wonderful to hear the guy who's going to be on the call for ESPN in the NBA Finals to be saying this. It is very, very refreshing for this guy to come out and say, hey, it sucks. Yeah, me and Clyde, who's 81, I said he's 80. He's 81 because we just had his birthday. Yeah, just get him on the call for at least the first round. That's all he was saying. Just the first round.
I think it is important that it's Mike Breen saying it, because if this is just random
Maddie Devlin.
Maddie Devlin has done also a national broadcast. I was trying to think of just somebody that only does their local broadcasts. Then you're like, okay, you're just salty because you of course want to do it. But Mike Breen, he does both. He does the Knicks games, and then he's the lead voice for ABC and ESPN. So it carries more weight to me, him saying this. He even said it. He's like, I'm going to be on the call. Like, I'm paid handsomely. And he knows it's because the new media deal with Prime and NBC and ESPN, like they paid millions upon millions to get these games. So he understands it, but he's at the same time, come on, man. What about the local fan bases of these squads and these broadcasters too? It's really weird when you think about it. It's like, you do all 82 games, and then they're like, all right, bye.
We got it from here.
Yeah, it's like, can't even get a first round. Get in on the fun of like the crazy crowds and stuff like that for this. So we're all with Mike Breen on this one, but these are going to be on, Prime. I mean, it's a national televised streaming service, but it's not even on the air, like over the air. These first three games, right, on Saturday.
That's a great point.
It's sort of weird.
Kind of unusual.
It's sort of weird.
Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
A lot of people have Prime.
A lot of people have Prime.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I bet more people
I saw
don't.
people very upset about this. Like, are you kidding me? Like, playoff games are not on, traditional television.
Yeah.
First three won't be on Saturday. I know that. I guess that last one is Lakers Rockets. ABC.
Well, yeah. I wonder if something that they change for next year. If people are upset about it enough, they could. Just to have it over the air in some ways. I know that's paid for.
It's paid, man.
But going back to the last TV deal, I mean, they allowed the broadcasters to just have it through the first round. What's the big? I don't really understand the monetary difference. I'm not doing the books, but still, I don't think it's a huge deal.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know the monetary reasons, but it is funny how it stops after the first round too. It's like that's it, right? Traditionally.
Traditionally, yeah.
Yes. Second round, you're just getting the national broadcast.
Yeah.
Does Prime still have games further into the playoffs, like round 2, conference finals? That's
off
even
the
crazier.
top of my head, I want to say no.
Good.
They have it in their media deal package though. Eventually, they're going to get like like Western Conference Finals or
Yeah,
Eastern
we'll
Conference
prove
Finals.
it
Like,
to
but that's
you.
like down the year, or down the line, a couple of years in.
They do have the movie Mercy on Prime Video. I watched that last night with
What's-
no NBA going on.
What's that one about?
It's basically reverse AI Minority Report with Chris
Okay.
Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson.
Okay.
And I just have to say, don't watch it. It's terrible.
Oh, okay.
Really bad. But the NBA games will be good.
What if Clyde Frazier was on the call for that movie, Mercy? Mercy.
Hating and investigating.
Make it better. It sounds like.
Kind of interesting, yeah.
Final one. Anthony Davis made it clear Monday that the Washington Wizards must present a credible path to contention this summer before he's like officially locked in on this squad. AD stopped well short of requesting a trade, acknowledging his contractual obligations. He even said, "I love my money." He was joking. But he left the door open depending on what discussions with the front office do produce here. And apparently he's going to meet with them over the coming weeks. Are you up or down on Anthony Davis wanting a championship plan from the Wizards before like committing long term to this franchise?
I'm both up and down. I know I'm sort of playing it neutral
You're on
here,
the fence tonight.
well,
Today.
I will
Tonight,
say,
Jesus. God, I hate when people do that. It's today. It's morning.
when Anthony Davis was traded, I thought the Wizards should not be giving him an extension. So I'm up on that they wouldn't be giving him an extension immediately because he signed through next season and then a player option for the following season.
right.
And he played 20 games this year. I don't see how that front office just says, hey, long-term deal for somebody who's limited. At the same time, it's sort of down. Like you didn't have to tell people. You didn't have to go on a podcast. This was on Draymond Green's podcast and tell people that you're not extending. You don't have to do that. I like the idea of Anthony Davis being there for a full season and probably for that player option he picks up in that second year and potentially be dealt during that second year just to be that old guy for Alexander Sarr mostly. To see how you play defense, how you go about things. So I like him there, but I also like this idea of not extending him. I don't understand how you would extend him for a big contract at this point. I understand the Wizards aren't paying anybody really right now, but to lock into somebody like that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're mostly going to be paying Trae Young and Anthony Davis if he decides to re-up with them because everybody else is on rookie contracts, which is why Anthony Davis was like, I love these young guys. They're like my children.
Yeah.
He is so much older than mostly everybody on the
33
Wizards.
years old, by the way.
He is so much older. What plan can they possibly give Anthony Davis that like, yeah, this is a championship plan that's
Yeah.
believable? They haven't made the playoffs since 2021.
Yeah.
They haven't had a 500 record since 2018. They haven't won 50 games since 1979. I don't understand a realistic plan you could show Anthony Davis here
Right.
to see him want to re-sign with the Wizards, but they wouldn't have traded for him if they didn't want him.
Mm-hmm. Is it just they get a high draft pick and have a great player that they draft? Is that the idea for Anthony Davis? I guess
Yeah.
But he also, you thought that he didn't have a great time with Cooper Flag this year with the young guy who was the future.
He didn't.
He wasn't high-fiving him.
He was never high-fiving him. But
So-
he likes Bilal Coulibaly.
Yeah, he likes Bilal and all his
He
other
thinks
kids.
Bob Carrington tells funny jokes.
Listen,
He thinks that Will Riley's a picky eater, but that's fine. He'll make him peanut butter on toast with honey every single day if that's what he wants.
son,
He's a good kid.
I'll give
Yeah,
you a
he's a good
peanut
guy.
butter. Yeah, it's just a weird. Listen, I liked him on the Draymond Green podcast.
Well, some
It
of
was
this,
great to
by the
see
way,
some
some of
clips.
this was him talking to the media.
Oh, was it?
Because this blew my mind. Monday, when he did this, was Anthony Davis's first formal availability with the Washington area media since the surprise trade from the Mavericks in early February. He's just been there,
Amazing, man.
just lurking behind the wall the entire time. They're like, can we talk to you? He's like, just back here. That's crazy. So this is why he had a lot to say. And, yeah, he's joking about the money and he's joking about the kids. He did say, like, I'm pretty impressed with the Washington sort of organization. He
not
basically
as
was
bad
like,
as people
he was like,
say.
I thought it was like a shithole here, but it's not that bad. But yeah, the whole money part, he's owed nearly $59 million in 26-27. So that's next year. And then he has a $63 million player option for 27-28. But the industry speculation is he wants additional years here on this current deal. And that's where we get into, will it be with Washington or not? Or is he just doing the whole like, yeah, I mean, it's not a bad place here, but I don't really want to be here long term because like, come on, we're not going to be competing. He's probably thinking, I'm getting near the end of maybe my career. Again,
Yes.
he's only 33 years old, but I want to compete, and it's not going to happen here in Washington anytime soon. No matter how good these kids are, no matter how good Trae Young is, which it's just fair. But then you could say, like, does AD, should he have that? Is he allowed to have like that sort of like demand? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not really convinced he should.
It is kind of weird for him to be like, I played 20 games, 0 for this franchise. Prove it to me that we're going to win.
Right.
They should be like, prove it to us you're going to play.
Yeah.
He was out with a hurt finger on his non-shooting hand.
Yeah.
Luke Kennard is laughing at Anthony Davis for not playing. Will they make the postseason next year? They ain't making the playoffs. They're not going to be a top 6 team. Could they be a top 10 team in the Eastern Conference this year? For the first time in ages, every team in the top 10 was actually over 500. Miami finished 43-39. That is a 26-game difference with the Washington Wizards.
I think it's going to be tough because the Pacers should be right back in the mix. I don't have a lot of confidence in the Nets jumping up into the conversation yet. The Bulls probably not because they're finally in rebuilding mode. Milwaukee is a fascinating one. What happens there? But I'll say no. But then starting to run out of teams here that Washington I feel comfortable sort of leaping.
Right.
They should be in a play-in race. They should be in a play-in race.
It'd be great for them
That'd
to be in
huge.
a play-in race.
Yeah. But I'm not locking it in that they're a top 10 seed in the Western Conference next year.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I can talk myself into it with Trae Young and Anthony Davis being out there, along with a very good pick in this draft.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can talk yourself into it.
and there is talent on the team.
Yeah. It is a drastic drop off from 10th to 11th. As you said, 43 wins for the 10th seed to 32 wins for the Bucks in the 11th seed. Anthony Davis, I guess, was just talking, as you said, he was talking to the media.
Yeah.
I do think that, especially if you're talking to Draymond Green, a future Hall of Famer, they're just starting to say, hey, I want to be here for a long term. And I think that's where the, hey, I want to be extension. He didn't say I want to be extended, but that conversation was with Draymond Green. So I can understand why, they're part of the brotherhood. They're part of the future Hall of Famer, both future Hall of Famers. So I can understand him just talking. But at the same time, if you're the front office, you're not just extending this guy this offseason. That would be bananas to me.
All right, that's the up-down report. Thanks for throwing your thumbs on that. Look, they weren't the sexiest up-down questions, okay? I'll admit
That's
that.
a nice B block for everyone.
We got there. We got there in the end. Send in questions. We might have to have a nice little beach step and sesh this week. Email in your questions. nodunks@gmail.com. Because tomorrow we will be previewing and predicting the 2 playoff series in the Eastern Conference that we know. Knicks, Hawks, and Cavaliers, Raptors. So we'll do those tomorrow. We've got play-in games tonight. That's right. Some are saying this is the best batch of teams since the play-in's inception in 2021. Because just one team with a losing record, and it's the Warriors.
Exactly, yeah.
So that is the fewest in the play-in's history in terms of like losing teams.
Fewer losers.
Yeah,
that's good.
Maybe there's something there. Maybe some truth there. That first game tonight of the play-in tournament, we're going to be live on YouTube. It's going to be a watch party. It's going to be an absolute hang. Second screen experience.
Hanging out with my friends.
You got Prime on one tablet and you got us on the other. Now come hang out. I'll get that stream going on YouTube a little bit later today. But the game is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Prime. So we'll just be hanging out, chatting it up, and keeping our eye on hopefully an entertaining Heat Hornets game. I think it's going to be high scoring. Hopefully not a blowout.
Yeah, I'm into both these games tonight.
Yeah.
And speaking of questions, I saw a great one today on NBA Reddit from user ToughToday2563 who says, the post is titled, Colonoscopy Prep versus NBA Play-In Tournament. What would you do? I'm about to face a serious dilemma. Hornets superfan right here. Haven't missed a game all season. However, I have a colonoscopy scheduled on Wednesday, tomorrow, which requires prep beginning 6 p.m. the evening before. I could reschedule, but there's a $1,000 late rescheduling fee, so I can't justify that. Would you suck it up and go to the game and try to make the fast break to the bathroom, or stay home and wallow watching from the toilet? This is not a joke. I really am torn.
Hope you're not torn.
Great question.
Now, I think it comes out pretty easy when you're prepping.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've done it twice. Yeah, you cannot go to the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say
can't
just
do it.
stay home.
Watch from home.
Yeah.
Oh no, reschedule the colonoscopy.
$1,000.
It's a playoff. It's a play-in.
It's
game.
not a playoff
It's a
game.
play-in
It's a
game.
play-in
Yeah,
game.
Game.
you're
It
right.
might be their only one though.
Yeah.
$1,000 plus the cost of tickets.
Can you call management and say, this is my situation. Can I have a seat pretty close to a bathroom?
Wow.
Just close to a bathroom.
Oh, that's yeah. Maybe.
Pretty close. Can I sit on the aisle?
No.
Wow.
It's not.
What if
You
the
trust me,
bathroom?
it's not an option.
What if they brought a porta potty in and put it, but there's a window that you can see out of in the arena.
I like it. I like it for just this guy.
Yeah, for this guy.
Okay, but then look, it lasts all night though, right? So
Yeah.
you're like there after the game for the entire night, basically.
You
You're
live
not
there.
getting in a car and
Right,
going
right.
somewhere. We
What
gotta
about-
think these things through.
Yeah.
You know,
What about the bag?
That's a colostomy.
yeah, that's a.
That's a different thing.
Well, okay, yeah, true.
Yeah, calling. Quick, get me a bag. I'm not coming in for the colonoscopy, but I'm doing something colon related.
I thought you were referring to the guy with the purple backpack, the hardcore.
Oh, interesting.
Have that bag ready to go.
That's what was in there.
Maybe. All right, good luck. I hope we find out the answer to
Yeah.
this guy here. on
Great
Reddit.
question.
Follow up.
We'll see you tonight on YouTube, hopefully, if not tomorrow morning here at 10 a.m. Eastern to break down 2 of the Eastern Conference series and talk about tonight's playing games. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you're looking for great stats, The Finder with Tom Haberstroh has a great Substack page. I mention it because it's a great page for stats. Also, because I didn't give him love for a stat I said earlier. And so I squeezed him in here. It's a little late, but I got him in.
Brace the day, people.